Well, we're gonna start out with that.
Wow.
It's a cliche. Come on. It's a literal kind of long-standing staple of Godzilla references is to do that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Simpsons did it. Everyone.
Funny as
Jurassic
hell.
Park 2
It was
did
the
it.
most horrible thing I could think of.
I thought it was good. I don't know. I thought it was a good icebreaker, honestly.
I haven't gotten to use the effects for the show that we made years ago. Now a year ago, not years.
Was it me or did that song start turning into Exorcist for a second? Or no, Psycho. With the
Oh yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
I was like, okay.
But we have a packed house, George.
Yes, we do.
First, finally, on a CanonFire after
my God.
I've lost count how many
Premiere.
years.
Debut.
He joins the fight. A
Michael
new challenge-
smashes in.
A new challenger approaches. Michael, the probably the most active admin on Fan Freaks.
Oh,
I have
wow.
to say.
Michael the Kaiju.
Michael the Kaiju Medina.
We'll put it in the quotations.
And of course, you can't have Michael and you can't have me without having Annie Potter and Liz Oak.
What's
up? Hey, guys.
How's it going,
We have a
folks?
packed house, George.
We do. We almost don't even have enough microphones.
So many people.
Yeah, we have to. George and I are sharing a microphone.
As we do in real life.
Whoa.
I don't even know what that even implies, but I just said.
That implies so many
implies a
things.
lot.
I think it's.
I'm glad you guys agree.
I'm taking it sexually.
Ew.
But anyway, so let's start out with the first topic of today.
I
We
put
don't
the
really-
U in ST.
What? ST.
I put the U in STD.
But there is no U in STD.
Not yet, stud.
Is
There is no U in S. This makes no sense.
Stud makes it STD.
All right, anyway,
You makes it-
Godzilla, Gojira, the French metal band. We'll talk about them.
The French metal band.
yeah,
No,
Gojira.
get
Why
outta
not?
here.
I love Gojira.
Fine.
It's the name of my Kaiju
Wait,
game,
hold
Pokemon
on.
Go.
Is this French metal band? Do they all have songs related to Godzilla?
They have one about a flying whale. Does that count?
No.
Straight up denied.
Yeah, that was a confirm right there. Damn. But anyway, so Godzilla, right? I hear he has a thing happening.
Annie, Liz, did you guys watch the movie?
No.
No, not yet.
Me neither, by the way.
Michael's
You
very
guys-
disappointed. He wants us to watch it though.
Are you
gonna-
guys okay with spoilers?
I'm okay with spoilers. I probably still would watch the movie.
I'm gonna ask this first. Michael, is it okay that I'm spoiled for this movie? Is it important that I don't know what's happening going in?
It makes me sad that you guys haven't seen it yet because I don't want you to be spoiled, but
We could talk about other Godzilla films then, in the meantime. And
Yeah,
just
that's
kind of see
true.
Yes,
how it
let's
builds
not talk
up
about
to
the
it.
most relevant
Da
Godzilla.
da 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 da.
But that's the one that he has the most notes about.
Play Cashmere with Puff Daddy.
oh, get out of here right now.
Yes,
My
that's the
favorite.
Cashmere intro. Yes. I had that CD,
I love
by the
that.
way,
I do
growing
love
up.
that
Wait a
one.
minute,
Yeah.
Isn't it P. Diddy?
It is
Oh,
P.
it is
Diddy
Did
at
he
that
change his
time.
name like 50 times?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Puff
but back
Daddy,
in the day
P.
it was
Diddy,
Puff Daddy.
He was just Daddy at
Sean
some
Diddy
point. I
Combs.
don't know.
Sean Diddy Combs,
He was P. Diddy at that
Sean
time.
Combs.
Yeah, what was that one girl
So there's
group that he had?
Gojira, there's Godzilla,
I forgot.
King of Monsters.
It wasn't Soul Sacrifice. I know that's not the name of this girl band.
Hold on.
Yes.
So I'm just trying to make a
Cohesive narrative.
Yeah. Sean P. Diddy Combs has as many names as Godzilla.
Yeah, this is what we're focusing on for the narrative, mind you.
man.
Not Godzilla,
Well, shit.
but the many names of Puff Daddy.
and the many names of Godzilla. They have similar.
Does Godzilla have
Both
any names?
brilliant
Yes,
figures.
Gojira, Godzilla, King of Monsters. Right?
Wait, God's
He's
King
an
Kong?
Earth protector, I guess you can call him that. So
The Earth Protector.
I've heard that
Un-Earth
too.
Protector.
Unearth?
Yes.
That's another metal band.
Are all the other kaijus not from Earth?
Some of them
No,
aren't.
King Ghidorah isn't.
But that's what I mean. Like, if you're the defender of Earth and they're always fighting, wouldn't? Okay, so they're trying to destroy the Earth.
Some are, some aren't.
The aliens
alright.
most of the
Well,
time.
I would understand why the aliens.
And they
It's
mostly
like,
come at night. Mostly.
They're dead. Okay, can I go now? Anyway. So I have a question. I mean, if we're stumbling for topics real quick, I've noticed that it's about Godzilla. Don't worry, everyone. I've noticed because there was I'm gonna divert for a second because there was a Lord of the Rings game that came out not too long ago, and it was called
Shadow of War?
Yes, it was the second one in whatever series that they had.
Yeah, the
And
first
Oh
one.
yeah,
Shadow of
more
War.
Shadow Murder. I heard really good things about that game, but I'm not really interested in playing.
I haven't touched it. I heard they kind of messed up a Nemesis system or something or other, but
Yeah,
that's not
and
really.
the second one had a bunch of loot boxes, and then they reverted the loot boxes.
That sucks. That's a lame.
Yeah,
That's
so
alien.
that
That is
aside,
a major name.
there's a character in the Lord of the Rings lore, and I think Jim Sterling brought this up, so before anyone yells at me that I'm not original, I'm sorry.
Oh.
But there's a character in Lord of the Rings lore where she is like a spider queen.
Yes.
It's almost like Quelaag in Dark Souls in a way. She's like just a freaking, well, Quelaag has like a woman.
Oh, you mean that
half on
giant
top.
spider?
Yeah, it's just a giant spider lady. That's
Yeah.
what it is. And she's a lady giant spider. And apparently the Thunder thought that was the scariest shit in the world.
Oh man.
So I don't know if anyone in the podcast heard that. But either way, she's just a spider, right? And she's a
Yeah.
character in her own right. She's a
Yeah.
monster queen. So
Yeah.
when this game comes out, they redesign her into a sexy lady. And it's like, I
Oh
get
yeah,
why
that's
you did
right.
it.
I heard about that, and I'm like, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
I get why you did it, but wasn't this the initial character design?
No, man, we
Wait,
have
is
enough
it-
furries in this goddamn world. We
But
don't
it's
need no
not furries,
more.
But it's not the furries. It's just straight up spider to a woman. She's just a woman now. No real spider attributes. And then I bring up Godzilla.
That's stupid.
Because what if Mothra all of a sudden was redesigned as a sexy lady? And then I start drawing fan art like of people online doing exactly that. And I'm like, doesn't that detract from the character of Mothra?
Yes.
I love Mothra.
Good answer.
I don't want Mothra to turn into a sexy lady.
I just think that's funny. Like, imagine in the next American movie, you just have
Mom
giant,
looks like a
sexy
lady.
people walking through like. The
It
city.
would be.
I mean,
messed up.
if you all of a sudden turned her into a human, you take away parts of the Lord of the Rings that happened. Cause I don't think it was actually her that
She was
that
in a
Frodo
movie.
fought, but I think it was one of her kids that
Yeah.
Frodo fought on his way to get into like the Mount Doom.
But she's
So
covered in spider webs for that. thing, I
yeah,
remember, yeah,
but
yeah.
like if it wasn't for that, like he wouldn't have gotten in, like back with Sam and all this stuff, and like some developments wouldn't have occurred.
Well, I mean, someone could excuse like, hey, you know what? She's a sorceress, so she just waved her hands, and then the same things just happened. But it's like that detracts from how she would have done things as a giant fuck off spider.
Yeah.
You know. So I just thought that was interesting as a topic. How would you feel about something like that if they redesigned the characters to look more humanoid?
I
No,
mean,
Wouldn't that be kind of just off the mark?
that's happened a little bit with like Godzilla, especially Shin Godzilla. Shin Godzilla had human skeletons in his tail for some reason. Human hybrid, like
Like
kaiju.
human skeleton? You mean like just full-bodied skeleton?
Part of his skin. Yeah. On the tip of his tail.
That's fucking weird.
I don't even
Yeah.
understand. Was it organically part of him, or was it?
It was
absorbing
organically
people?
part of him.
We're gonna
And
have to
they,
show you a picture or something.
How did now I'm completely questioning this. How the hell did he get human skeletons on?
no
something-
idea. Shin Godzilla came out of nowhere and it was a complete redesign on the character. And it's just, they wanted to just completely.
It's also one of the more divisive Godzilla movies.
I heard it was actually way better than the Godzilla movie that came out not too long ago.
Wow,
That's
is
the
it divisive?
divisive part.
That's the divisive part. Okay.
Yeah, because it's him versus humans again. That's all that movie is. The human characters are greatly fleshed out, but Godzilla himself looks completely lifeless because the design is just.
He looks like Red Death.
He does. He's like a completely horror version of him.
Is he not supposed to be like? I guess because I know earlier on he kind of like had relationships with the children. I know how that sounds, but like
He
he
did
was
not,
He
but-
was the turtle guy. One of them.
That's Gamera,
Gamera.
yes.
Well, they were all friends with people on the actual like.
Godzilla has not had any friends except for the one from '98 with Matthew Broderick. That's the only one.
Really, and I wouldn't even say they were friends. Were they?
No, the show,
Friendly.
the TV
Friendly.
show.
Oh, that's
Zilla
right.
Jr.
Zilla
was
Jr.
Oh
on
yeah,
the good
no,
side.
I never saw
No,
that
I
shit.
totally forgot about the
didn't even know
Thank
that shit
God
existed.
that show
Right.
died.
That show was good. What are you talking about?
They make shows after all sorts of things.
Men in Black. It's all the
Yeah.
same. Men in Black. Jumanji had a show in that same art style. I forgot. Beetlejuice.
That's
Nice.
true. That's true. Ghostbusters had a show.
Oh, Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
I remember all that shit. That was good. Like, just make random cartoons. Imagine, like, what's a serious movie now that we can make, like, a kid's cartoon from?
Pacific Rim.
No, see, that's actually a good answer. I'm not looking for
Oh.
I'm looking for something like Hereditary, the cartoon.
Oh.
You know, like, something just...
The Nun.
The Nun, dude.
Nun.
That would
The
actually
Conjuring
probably
universe.
happen, though.
La Llorona
Yeah,
was good.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
La Llorona done the right way though, cause that movie sucked.
It could be
didn't
the
see
Saturday.
it.
That movie sucked.
That movie's
It's
been in
not good.
development.
It's not. It's not.
The
it's
freaking the fairy tale, they completely changed it. I don't know what like
not pretty
version
cool.
they got, but it's not the version that a shit ton of people know
It's a
about.
bastardized.
I went to
version.
It's the
Halloween
best.
Horror Nights, like, I want to say 7 years ago, And then they were building that movie. They were hyping it up. That La Llorena's coming out, the movie. And then
Llorona.
here we are, or whatever.
Say it right.
Morena.
What is it?
Llorona.
Llorona.
Thank
Not
you.
Llorena?
No.
What, am I saying something
Not
else?
Lauren.
You're kind of
No.
mixing Llorona and Morena. Like,
Yes.
I have no idea.
she a caramel. She a caramel.
Oh, I
child.
didn't even know that was a phrase. I mispronounced.
Morena,
Whatever.
you know.
Either way, La Llorana?
like Llorona.
Yeah, there's Rana, Rona,
Llorona.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken?
Say it right, bro. Come on now.
Welcome
you got
to,
some Latin in you.
to
You can do
Spanish
it.
with Annie Potter.
I just have problems with everything, don't worry.
Isn't it funny that you know what I'm gonna say?
His name is
I'm
George
Jorge.
Hernandez,
Jorge Luis Hernandez.
and he can't.
And I can't say Llorona.
Damn, man, you can get that
Llorona,
freaky
there you go.
accent there, but you can't do it for you, like Llorona.
Because I'm used to saying my name and not Llorona. I don't usually. I don't usually cry in Spanish.
But you just did it though. You just did it. Emote.
And there's a first for everything, Adrian. I don't know. Anyway,
I'm telling you, just buy me liquor, and I'll eventually.
so anyway, the nun, right? The nun would make a great. It would be like Scooby-Doo, essentially, but we follow the nun, and she's like going to haunt a place, but then there's a place that's worse, and we follow her.
my God.
You know what
It
I
could
mean?
be a Scooby-Doo version. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It makes sense to me. So,
Or just like a really wacky Saturday morning cartoon Avengers with all the horror persons, and they're killing kids in every episode.
Oh my god.
I want a Star Wars miniseries that all takes place in one night when Anakin killed the younglings.
Oh my god.
Just the whole fucking show.
It's like the whole season's like the greatest game of hide and seek.
It becomes like this whole like thing. Like, it's almost like Corpse Party, where like the kids are trying to survive the Anakin that's roaming the halls, and I think it'd be fun actually. Where's that anime?
I love that goddamn game, bro.
Corpse
Corpse Party's
right?
amazing.
Oh my god! There's one part I don't like. It's Yuka. She can die in a fire, but the rest of the game is wonderful.
Oh, I didn't know that.
What?
I actually didn't know she died in fire.
No, I'm saying I would like her to.
Oh, you want her to die
Yes,
in fire?
Yuka. Do you know who
Damn.
she is?
Yeah, isn't that the girl that got them all stuck in there in the first place?
No.
Oh, that's not her
She's
name?
the little sister. I have to go to the bathroom.
You you can go die in a fire. How
Every
about that?
5 minutes, she would not stop. In fact, if
So-
you actually take her to
so
the
we're not talking
bathroom,
about
that
Godzilla?
gives you a bad
I would
ending.
like to.
Anyway, yes. All right,
Yeah,
yes.
it does give you a bad ending because you kill your own little sister. What's wrong with you, boy?
No, you take her to the bathroom and go, okay, go pee, and she goes, okay, and then she comes back and you get killed by an axe dude or the lady she just runs across the hall and pecks you in the
Okay,
face.
Oh,
first
damn,
of
that
all, there's a
sucks.
way out of that.
But illustrating my point is you don't listen to Yuka. You keep telling her to shut up and you will get through the game alive, and that's what happens.
You just don't like taking care of children. That's just what it is.
Fair enough, maybe. I don't know.
I mean, I feel you. I don't like kids that much either. but-
Anyway, Godzilla though, am I right? As someone who's only seen the Matthew Broderick like '90s one,
Oh god.
I need help in this area.
Damn.
Okay.
You ain't even seen snippets of the old shit.
I saw snippets.
You
People
haven't
love
seen
it.
the Toho series of the Heisei?
I've seen like the highlight reels of him doing the dances and him flying
Oh, wow.
through
Like
the
the
air.
super
like,
silly stuff from
I've
the
seen
like
the super
first
silly
wow.
shit. That's why I'm like
That's
interested.
the Heisei series, right?
Damn.
Yes.
I'd be interested in seeing where that came from, and you know, it'd be fun. I'm into shit. I don't know.
I'm in this shit.
You,
huh?
so wait, you never watched Mothra, the original Mothra, with the two little.
You never saw Death Note?
I've seen Death Note.
No, I'm just kidding. It's just that guy.
Death
But,
Note should have
you know,
ended when.
Fucking giant spoiler. Jesus
Well, spoilers
Christ.
for Death Note.
Thanks,
damn.
man.
Death Note has been
Wow.
out for how many years?
That's
How is that
not
a spoiler?
an excuse. How long did it take?
George and I have been having like this
We've
argument.
had this argument the entirety of this podcast because it's like, let's say you're playing Silent Hill 4 right now. Well, the game's been out long enough. Let me just ruin the entire plot. Would that be cool? No, it took time for you to find the series in the first place.
You're asking the wrong person. She doesn't give a fuck about spoilers.
Fine, but you know,
Exactly.
what about you?
Like-
I don't know.
Like, she
I'm
don't
just
care
saying.
about spoilers. You can spoil her. She's still gonna play the game.
I guess. And we had this conversation with Silent Hill 2 before, remember?
Yes.
Yeah, and you
We
said
had
you
a
didn't
whole
care.
podcast with the three of
right,
you
right.
arguing over James.
So, but that's kind of where I'm coming from. I wouldn't
Not
want
that
someone to
James.
miss out on that experience. That's all. Oh yeah. Well, never mind.
Ramos, what's good?
It's alright, he doesn't listen to the show.
Oh, okay.
He wants me to
Fuck
call
you
him
then.
empty.
I'm kidding.
He wants you what?
He wants me to call him empty.
What?
Empty.
Yeah.
Empty.
I'm just fucking around. It's in the D&D campaign. He's named his robot, and I'm like, we gotta pick another name. I can't say
Oh, you
that
guys
name
are
with a
doing a
straight
D&D
face.
campaign?
Yeah, and it's like I can't say that with a straight face. I can't call you empty, man. I'm sorry. We're gonna come up with something else.
That's so weird.
I know.
That is weird.
Because it was with his character. He ran out of memory, or he doesn't have memory, so it was like, that's why. But I was like, we can come up with something better. So we did.
And all right, will we see this D&D campaign on your Twitch thing?
I don't know. Michael, the other Michael,
Robbins?
wants to maybe record it.
All right,
So
good.
we'll see.
Hopefully on the Fan Freaks YouTube
But
channel.
we're deviating from Godzilla.
I told you we were
Which
gonna
is
deviate.
exactly what Annie said.
I
I'm
told
sorry.
you.
I really don't mean to do this.
That's
like,
okay. It happens.
Organic conversation
Number
is the
four.
best conversation.
You've only seen the Matthew
No.
Broderick Godzilla.
Yes.
Well, you're late
And-
on it now. But yes.
And
One of my favorite.
You know how many polls
I- I'll defend that movie because I do enjoy him as a creature, only just because, I think I told you, Toho got the rights back and made him a singular character by himself. So he's just known as Zilla now.
Yeah.
And
He fucking died.
yes, but his son didn't, so that's all that matters.
There's a son of Godzilla.
Zilla Jr.
and
is still
Yeah,
alive,
Godzilla
technically.
Jr. and then there's Zilla Jr.
That's amazing. I didn't even realize. Why don't they fight?
Who?
Oh,
two
man.
juniors.
All right,
Because love,
Did
I don't
anybody
know.
ever watch?
Because love? I don't know.
Did anybody ever watch Baby Looney Tunes?
Hell yeah.
We should have a baby kaiju with them in a daycare.
There,
Aww,
You're the
that's
kind
so
of people
cute.
that want the humanized.
There is a
Mothra.
cartoon
This
about
is-
that,
this is-
though.
No. I want.
That just sounds like dinosaur
I want
babies.
like a zookeeper Steve Irwin like guy trying to corral all
Crikey, these kaijus.
these kaijus, and they're like wrecking the daycare.
Well, stick me thumb up
and
its bum
every
just to
episode
see what
ends
happens.
with the daycare getting destroyed,
Yeah.
yeah.
and then it gets built again.
And it's
Oh
like
my
an
God.
anthology. Just yeah.
But
There-
you don't understand anything the kaiju say. They talk
Roaring
in
and doing their
animals.
normal
roar.
vocalizations,
Yeah.
yes.
Like Pokemon.
No, we put subtitles on them.
I don't know why you're
We
saying
put
this.
subtitles
I mean,
on the fucking. On the
Mothra's twins can talk for the kaiju, so
Yeah.
not in no kind
Well,
of.
that's their character trait for that show. Like they'll just do that forever. So I don't know why we're talking about it. It's already been greenlit on Netflix.
So
So
what?
what we're talking about, as we were talking about it, it has been greenlit on Netflix.
Fuck, I wanted money out of it.
Nope, done. But in
Fucking
any case,
Netflix stole our ideas. Fuck.
So next on the docket, I don't know. Do we even have time for another?
I mean, aren't we doing 20-minute segments?
Is that? You don't tell me these things beforehand. I feel like it's pertinent.
I love how y'all argue about it as you're doing the podcast.
I like that too.
It shows how raw and real we are.
so
That's
wrong.
why I listen.
It's so raw. It's not a word to use.
That's what she said.
So much friction.
Yeah, you want some KY?
Why KY?
Oh,
Why not?
I don't know. Is that the only lube brand you know?
No. I did just get Doc Johnson's.
We learned
recently.
something new.
I just did get Doc Johnson's recently. But water-based lube really runs out really quick.
I was honestly fucking with you, and I didn't expect you.
I'll honestly fuck you.
Oh my god. By this point, it's like audio evidence of entrapment almost. It's almost suspicious.
Almost suspicious.
Listen, Catherine.
C. Catherine or K. Catherine?
which was your
J.
favorite?
Catherine.
I like that question because initially when I first played it, I was like K. Catherine all the way. I want to be,
Oh,
fuck.
fuck Atlas, by the way. The
Yes.
Thank you.
It shouldn't have been an angel. It should have been a fucking trans.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I told you.
Yeah. No.
I told you. I was right.
Yeah, but you guys went off, and I didn't have a chance to say fuck Atlas, so I just want to say fuck Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
So
was
that's
right.
all, that's
They're
all.
they're never
Well-
Call
gonna do
back to a
that.
previous episode.
We'll always include more members in the Fuck Atlas group.
Yeah, that's always fine. It's always growing every day.
They've been like
Let's
that
start
for
a Facebook
years.
group
I'm
called
sorry.
Atlas Trans Posting.
And basically,
Would there even be a post? Is there even a character in this whole series?
That should be trans?
Wait,
yeah.
well, technically the bar, maybe the bar owner, though she's probably just in drag.
you mean the
Oh,
waitress?
Lulu.
You talking about the
Waitress,
waitress?
yeah.
Yeah, she is actually trans.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't really talk about her that much.
You know what? Actually, there is a straight up trans character in the Atlas franchise. It's Erica.
Erica?
Yes.
Yes.
From the first Catherine.
That is the one instance where they handle it really well, and that's why when this game came out, I
You
was
mean
like,
the
what
the waitress, right?
hell? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But that's basically because they kept her as a side character, and the only real moment where it was kind of oh, that's kind of weird, is certain conversations that the boys have. But the guy that ended up liking her for a while now, and
Where
then
is
found
Erica
out about her being,
And then just kept
yeah,
going
he
with
just
it.
like he's
What-
like, fuck it, I'm just gonna.
What game is Erica in? Persona?
Catherine.
And
The
Catherine,
first
the
Catherine
first
game.
one, the first one. the
Yeah,
first one.
and the funny.
No Persona game has done anything like that. I can
Yeah.
promise you that.
All right.
I mean,
Nah, not in a good way.
But Naruto, they revoked it the same way they did Kanji's gay card. They revoke it at the very end.
Exactly. They took it
You
away.
can't
They
do
fucked
that.
it up.
Like, literally, she has a whole dungeon about, like, oh my gosh, I don't like my body, I want to be something else.
We've done the Atlas.
Persona, though.
We've done
Persona's amazing. Yo, I'm almost done with
Michael came
Persona
all the way
5.
from
I'm so
Oregon for
late.
this episode.
Are you though?
Yeah. I don't.
But Persona is amazing.
So I want Godzilla as a persona. Is this not possible? He's a folklore
I
enough,
guess you
feel.
say you never seen it coming.
I mean,
Song?
You
Adrian!
don't have it there.
And Adrian!
Okay,
Sing,
Adrian.
sing it.
You should have prepared me for this.
And Adrian with the chorus. It's fine. It's fine. There's better songs on the soundtrack anyway.
there are.
There are.
Okay, so
Limbs of
Detective
Fate.
So
Pikachu.
many.
Detective Pikachu. Is this 20 minutes?
All right, should we cut here?
This was a good segment of Godzilla-ish related things.
All right, well,
Introduction.
you know what? We'll cut here, but first, Detective Pikachu.
Hi, this is Annie Potter,
And this is Liz Oak.
and you're listening to Cannon Fire on Fan Freaks.
That's my life.
So guess what? I learned something new.
What'd you learn?
I'm the only person who's seen the movie we're gonna talk about.
Yep.
So, X-Men Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Turnabout. That's why you said roundabout? Because I said turnabout?
Yeah.
Oh, now I get it. No, see, because that's one of the phases in Phoenix. So we're talking about X-Men.
Before that, I just want to say JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is way too good of an anime.
Finally, yes, I agree 100%. I'm a big fan of the first season, although everyone likes to, move on. I love that whole thing. It's so personal.
I love Joseph though.
Well, of course.
Joseph has so much personality. I agree with you with Jonathan and Dio.
That whole segment
Oh
with Jonathan
my
and Dio.
God, Dio's such a dick.
The
in that.
minute where Dio stole the kiss from his girlfriend, I was like, this series is incredible. I'm already on board, and this is dramatic as
You
fuck.
thought your first kiss was gonna be with Jonathan, but instead it was me. Dio.
It's like, who are you? Why are you the best villain I've ever seen in already 4 minutes? Like, he is so petty, and it carries on throughout the entire fucking
Bro,
franchise.
such a great villain.
He's great. Anyway, that aside,
Speaking of shit villains,
yeah, was there even a villain in this movie? There was.
Charles Xavier.
All right, sure.
Damn.
This is like, all right. So I'm removing the headphone for this because I'm gonna get distracted. It's like, you know that whole argument in Avengers where they were like, Avengers, I know you saved the world from aliens, but you broke some buildings and we'll never forgive you. That whole plot line is like magnetized 50 times and solely on Xavier.
Oh, so everything the X-Men have ever dealt with in the comics
Is now Xavier's fault. Just specifically.
No,
his.
but that's literally the X-Men comics.
No,
Every time in the
yes.
X-Men comics, the X-Men, the mutants, because they're different,
the public. Yes,
they
idiots.
hate the mutants. But the Avengers, we love the Avengers.
Funnily enough,
yeah.
the movie actually starts out with people loving the X-Men. They're fine with them. In fact, the movie starts out with what I would want an X-Men movie to be. Like, they're doing their powers one after the other, working in tandem, doing specific things. And then, like, the minute they get back, it's like the next 60% of the movie is people yelling at each other in a room. Reverse shot.
It's like every
like-
X-Men movie.
Really? Like, this X-Men movie had 3 action scenes in it. I counted.
Okay. How long was the movie? Was it 2 hours?
God, it felt like it. I have
Okay,
no
so
idea.
it was slow.
Very slow because there were the dialogue. It was literally like bad written anime dialogue where it's like, I know this isn't you. You don't know who I am. Please, Jean, I know who you are.
Wow.
Maybe, but there's a darkness inside of me. And it's like, dude, this is the most cliche way to present this cliche. Like, you could do this in a million other ways, and it didn't help that Jennifer Lawrence was phoning it in for the first, like,
I heard
minute of the movie.
McAvoy and Fassbender also phoned it in.
No, I would contest that they were the two best actors in the entire movie. They actually were doing their role, whereas Jennifer Lawrence was, I'm getting really tired of this stuff. Xavier, how dare you? I hate it. You know what? This team should not be called X-Men. It should be called X-Women, with how many times the women are saving people.
Oh my god.
And she walks out of the room, and I'm like, I'm all for female empowerment, but this is off the heels of a scene where the two males of the party literally saved you. Nightcrawler saved you in the last scene. Quicksilver saved everyone in the last scene. Where is this line coming from? Like, give me a reason? I don't understand.
That's always a saving grace with these. How was the Quicksilver scene?
Horrible. There was no Quicksilver scene. Literally,
I heard he had 4 lines of dialogue.
He starts up his Quicksilver
Damn.
scene, gets knocked out of the way, and he's gone for the rest of the movie.
Good, I don't have to watch this.
No, yeah, absolutely. This movie was 100%
So you're telling me
forgettable.
this movie's bullshit.
Kind of. And the amount of times that they
Quicksilver
use
my
the,
favorite.
I don't know who I am. You know who you are, Jean, but I'm full of darkness. And when darkness happens, bad things happen. Bad things? You will stop me from doing bad things, Jean. No, bad things mean people die. This is the whole movie. Like, they won't stop doing this song and dance. And then I start laughing because it's edgy dialogue.
I'm so
and
sad Sophie
Adrian
Turner
can attest to
looked
that.
like such a good freaking
Why can I
prospect.
attest to that?
Because every single time you say something edgy, I break down laughing. So like in this movie, I was bothering my boyfriend because of how much I was cracking up because none of it. And then all right, there's a lot of action. Well, there's not even a lot of action scenes. In the 3 action scenes, and maybe the little ones, they're all ended with like almost a like slapsticky like scene. Like someone will get hit by something off screen, and I bet they thought that looked cool or intense, but it just made me laugh every time. Because you're just seeing someone run by and boonk, and it's like, there they go.
Well, one of the reasons I can explain why the movie is so bad, it is written, produced, and directed by the same guy who gave us X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh God, why?
Hold on. X-Men 3 The Last Stand, and
Wait, so he's done this story before?
Yes.
Apocalypse.
His
And,
face.
This
How
is
is-
the last go. That's it.
How is he
and
done?
First Class. Like, he's responsible for
Wait, he
every...
did First Class?
He's responsible...
Oh, so
yes.
no wonder this movie's terrible.
No, I actually
I'm
kind of,
so
out
sad.
of all the ones
I
you
like
listed,
First
I
Class.
liked First Class.
So do I.
First Class is still
It's an
bottom of the
amazing
barrel.
film.
It's Fassbender is the reason that I like it. So.
It's a great film.
I'm so sorry.
It's just funny to me because like those two characters really make that film, and they tried so hard to like save this one, but they were all given the same line of dialogue, just back and forth.
But the problem is, we've seen the song and dance with Charles and Eric every X-Men movie, even movies where
Chess
they
game.
shouldn't be in it. This is the second time they've done the Phoenix Saga, where it becomes a dick measuring contest between Eric and Charles.
Oh,
Although there's one great line that I love from Eric in this movie of Dark Phoenix, where Charles is like, "I'm sorry that I didn't try sooner" or whatever, and Eric says, "Oh, you're always sorry, Charles, and there's always another speech."
that's literally 2 seconds. Like, literally, they're about to walk into where Jean is. He says that, and they just keep walking.
yeah.
And then they stop. They try to stop each other from reaching Jean.
you
That was the
interrupted
second
the
action
line.
scene. I'm sorry. Was that? Oh, there was more.
Yes.
I'm so sorry. I was so forgot. I remember that line. I thought it ended there.
No, he goes, "You're always sorry, Charles, and there's always a speech, but nobody cares." Done. Because
Oh, they
what
put
I
that shit in
loved,
the
It's ironic
dance
that I
trailer.
interrupted him then.
what I loved was
Nobody cared.
with First Class and with Days of Future Past, Eric really does show that the way Charles does things is really like ass backwards.
So in this movie, when Jean goes to I called him Magneto for a good portion of this just to be funny. But when he goes to Magneto and she's all like, you know, you used to kill people. Yes, I mean, they were bad. I killed people, yeah. I didn't like it, but I had to. How did you stop? Like, what? Are you not aware of the things that are happening in this plot? And then, that aside, that terrible thing aside, I always thought Magneto was the kind of guy... Magneto, I know, I just have fun with it. Magneto was the kind of guy who would be like, whatever Charles failed with, I will try and, like, convert onto my side and use the powers that are granted there. He would try to recruit Black Phoenix or something, you know? Like, he would, he would try to do that. He always has an edge, right? Maybe he could do something for she could do something for the betterment of mutant kind or whatever. Immediately, when she proves how strong she is, instead of going, Jean, we're gonna need to look more into this, he goes, get out of here! Go on, get! What? And then she leaves, and then she's like crying in an alley. I don't know what's happening. It's like, what is this movie? She literally says that out loud.
There's a new Emma Frost in this movie, right?
No, that's another thing.
Jessica Chastain isn't Emma Frost.
They don't introduce any new mutants in this entire film.
No, Emma.
Except for one, I'm sorry.
The lady who's talking to Jean, like, in the bar or whatever.
Oh,
Jessica Chastain's
she's not
character.
Emma Frost. She's not
She's not Emma Frost.
Sorry, white hair.
Yeah,
so.
she's some random alien chick. No backstory, just an
Random
alien chick.
So she's part of the Shi'ar?
Yeah, there was a race of, there was like a super cool FBI club that just showed up from time to time, but they got wrecked immediately. It didn't mean anything. It was funny because they were literally just meatbags running themselves at the X-Men while they did their shit at them. That's why it was so funny half the time.
This sounds like a comedy.
So I
I kind of want
to
to watch this like a riff tracks.
I was
Like
laughing
like
so
a Mystery
hard.
Science Theater 3000 type of thing.
So, like, I want to ask you guys, when you guys heard about this film, and you saw Apocalypse, right?
Yes.
At the end of Apocalypse,
We saw the Phoenix.
the Xavier, let go, and she brings out the Phoenix, because she has it already, because it was something, I guess, she was, born with, and she was
Maybe it's
cultivating over
Maybelline.
time. Yeah, so in this movie, I guess they retcon it, so, like, she never had the Phoenix until one thing where she got possessed by an alien now, and then now they're like, what is this? And I'm like, didn't you guys, like, just deal with that in the last movie? And they never bring it up. How did she re-get the power when she had it?
Well-
What year was Apocalypse?
80s.
And then what year was
you know
this?
that
Way
the-
later.
92.
Because he's already wheelchair bound and bald and
The
whole
time
nine
frame in
yards.
X-Men has been completely messed up for like a while, since Days of Future Past.
I just want
guess.
to point out that the Phoenix Force is a cosmic force that does possess her, and that, yes. I'm going to go
I love
class
it.
president on
No,
you guys
I
right
noticed.
now.
I loved it. That's why I mentioned it.
But she, at least earlier, she was not able to tap into that power anytime that she wants, only until she gets older.
Okay, but all right, so that makes sense. But in the movie series, it seems like it's whenever Xavier releases her inhibitors and she can fight at full strength or something.
That piggybacks off of the original trilogy.
And then that's what like blows my mind is that he's done this before and it's still somehow just as bland. Like,
Because remember, the original trilogy got all retconned because of Days of Futures Past. So it just kind of
We have
proves
two
that.
divergent timelines.
Yeah, so it kind of just shows that, no matter how many times you can erase a timeline, things just will always happen.
so in one timeline she was born with it, and the other time she gets it from an alien space mutant.
Yes.
And we're assuming that these two movies are just separate timelines that they don't.
Are
It
we
got
talking about Apocalypse?
It got
retconned
retconned.
because of Days of
Okay.
Futures Past.
But
So
it's,
it-
it's
No.
confusing.
But
Like,
Apocalypse had her with the Phoenix Force.
yeah, but what
That's
they're,
how she beat
what they're
Apocalypse.
saying is
Yes.
that they retcon that
But
movie.
in Dark Phoenix, in the beginning of the film, they're all saving like the space shuttle or whatever.
Yeah.
There's this cosmic, literal Phoenix Force
That's what she's saying. Yeah.
Yes.
that hits her, but it's the same continuity, it's the same timeline.
No,
but
but
no,
he's
apparently
trying
it's
to.
too different now.
No, that he's trying to point out that this only happens now, when Charles is able to release this from her. But that's supposed to piggyback off of the original trilogy, which Xavier did do that to her.
Yeah.
But the thing is, and this movie brings that up a lot with Xavier, everyone blames Xavier. It's like, how dare you try to limit her and hide her from the truth? It's like, she would have killed everyone if I didn't. And secondly,
happens everywhere.
I was going to tell her probably at some point when she's old enough.
That happens everywhere.
Why are
he gets
you
the shit
mad at
under
me?
the stick all the goddamn time.
Why are you mad at me for sealing her and also not sealing her at the same time? Like, there was no way Xavier was a good guy in this. Everyone just shat on him and I wanted to shout at everyone and like, dude, none of this is his fault. All he's ever done is like,
Try
I
to
love you
protect
for
you.
who you
He's the
are.
only
Okay.
I want to give you a home. Wait. I will let you, but hold on. There's another thing real quick. I want to give you a home. I want to be your family. And Jean can read his mind, right?
Yes.
But she constantly is like, no, you're just hiding the truth. It's like, can't you read my mind? And then at the end of the movie, guess what he does? Guess what she does? She reads his mind and realizes that he's genuine, and that's how the movie. And then she realizes, oh, I've been bad, and then she fixes things.
The only thing I can say to that, doesn't Charles have
No.
blocks sometimes though?
Oh, so
Yes.
she doesn't die?
But Charles have block. What do you mean?
Yeah, Charles
Mental
has.
blocks.
But with her power that she has now,
Wait,
none
George.
of that matters.
George.
Okay.
George. Jean
Yeah.
Grey doesn't die?
Jean Grey does die, but only for the most stupidest reason, because the cult is attacking her, right? She goes, dead. The final cult person comes in and is like, I'm gonna absorb your power. And she does it, lets her do it for 20 minutes, and I was like, oh, you know, it'd actually be pretty neat if she was like, you know, she absorbed her power. Ha, I have your power. You thought that was all my power. Oh shit. And then death, that would have been cool. No, it's like, you're gonna take my power, fly up into the sky and blow up like a fucking Batman nuke.
So Dark Knight Rises.
Like, why? I didn't understand any of that. And the funniest thing too is like, she was gonna do that scene where she overloads her, but Scott runs in and goes, Jean, and like touches the fire like a dumbass. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And then Jean's like, oh, my
Scott.
fire's hurting people. Zoom. And there were so many scenes where she just goes and just flies up, and it was funny as fuck every time. Cause this is like right after she'll make someone fall asleep. It'd be like, it wasn't them. Dude, tell me, watch this movie and try not to bust out laughing every fucking 5 minutes.
Well, this is the end for them, so
Yeah, this is the end of the Fox X-Men.
we're not getting New Mutants.
Honestly,
Well, I mean, I'm hoping we do, but it's probably going to be completely different. Supposedly we are getting New Mutants. It's just we don't know when.
there was one more
But
scene.
even then, it's not connected to anything.
There's one more scene I'd like to bring up. Because I think they had an idea for a scene, and it probably would have been really cool, but they did something completely different, and it ended up looking funny, just like, I guess, 90% of this movie. There's a scene where Jean is standing at the top of, like, a balcony from a hotel, in, like, a main lobby of a hotel, and there's, like, a staircase going up to it. Xavier comes in with the wheelchair. Jean, I need to take you out of here. I love you. Please, we have a home for you, family, whatever, jizz, I don't know. So that's happening, and she's like, you want to say you love me? Why don't you say it to my face? Walk up here. You know I can't, Jean. And he's like, eh. And she forces him to stand up and like starts making him walk up the stairs up to him. And this scene would be fucking horrifying if it was like, oh, Jean, stop it. Because his legs are fucking busted. He can't do this and it's hurting him. Like, that would be incredible. But the way that this is filmed, like a fucking wide shot, and James McAvoy isn't really like collapsing. He's just kind of silly walking upstairs, going, Jean, stop this. Jean,
Well,
fuck
is he
my
newly
leg."
was he newly injured?
No, he was lifted out of the chair
Oh.
and dangle walked.
Well, of course he wouldn't be fucking crying out in pain.
He's
He's not
paralyzed
gonna
from the
feel
bottom.
anything.
Yeah, no feeling.
You can't feel that.
No, yeah, he can't feel shit.
I was under the
why.
impression that if he tried walking, it would hurt him.
Nah, he
No.
wouldn't feel
No,
anything.
he,
Okay,
he
well-
literally can't walk.
No, this isn't Mr. Glass.
Then explain to me what this scene's purpose was, because I thought that was what it was. To
From
be
the
a
sound
power
of it,
play.
I can't make sense of this movie.
It was a
it's
power
funny.
play.
No, but
it was a shit power play.
Sure.
But it was a power play move.
I see what you're talking about.
and
but
in a sense to like try and show you like, oh, you think you can control me? Well, guess what? I can control you too, bitch.
correct. Oh, you know what? Okay. Yes, even without the pain, but the way that it was shot is like, imagine why
It was probably badly shot. Yeah.
Gene, stop it! It looks so silly. Like
Again, I wanna confirm the guy who directed this movie. This is his first time directing a movie.
I thought you said he
Pobrecito.
did First Class.
He wrote it. This is his first time writing,
Stop it.
producing, and directing. This is his first time directing a movie he wrote.
Dang.
I'm really curious because
They should not have given him a big role like that.
No. But in Hollywood, you fail upwards. Liz, you were
guess.
gonna say something before George interrupted you.
Oh, the idea that Charles Xavier is the bad guy. First of all, that's always in the comics. He's always seen as the bad
Yeah.
guy.
Like in every one, like
They always hate on him.
almost
Always.
now.
Even
And
his
second
own
thing-
students, because he does
Even
some
his, yeah,
things that are-
especially his own students.
Yeah, but he does things that are really questionable.
And
Oh, he
I
does?
agree with that.
Oh, he's been
he is
doing
the
that
only
shit?
one that cares about everyone.
thought he
but
didn't
the
do that.
problem Is, okay,
The
the
X-Men are
idea
kind
where
of child
he's a
soldiers in a way.
Well, yeah.
okay, but
But I mean, you could kind of argue that about.
they didn't
fucking
put him
Magneto,
in the
too.
field as kids.
No,
but
definitely Magneto.
she has a point, people. Listen.
Sorry.
okay, the idea that he's always gonna be seen as the bad guy for the things that he did to Jean. He did executively. He made the decision executively by himself.
Right.
Okay. There was an example that I wanted to bring up. Did you watch The Umbrella Academy?
No, but I hear it's great.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a situation that's similar that happens in the show, where number one Luthor has to make a decision about one of their siblings
Okay.
about what to do with her because she's seen as very dangerous. So there's a huge like back and forth thing that he says, I'm doing this to protect everyone, but everyone's like, but did you even ask her?
Not
how
everyone,
she-
just Klaus.
True. No, everyone did have a problem with Luthor putting her in the
Wait,
cage.
Oh,
Do
I
you know what the
but
difference
Klaus
is
is the only one
here?
that asked. Why don't we ask her?
She's in this movie. She's possessed by something. It's not even really just her innate power. So.
Okay. Yeah, that does put like another variable into it that she at the end of the day doesn't have complete control over herself because this is still something out of worldly.
Something alien.
Something alien. But he was always going to be seen as the bad guy. He is forcibly snuffing out the free will of someone else to make sure that the world stays safe.
I feel like that context for this movie in particular, granted, not the comics, but in this movie in particular, I feel like it's unwarranted with the scenes they showed. Because in everything they've shown, it's that her dad didn't want her and literally was going to like put her somewhere because she needed help and was unhelpable. Like, everyone wanted to take advantage of that, even the space people. Like, literally the only person who wanted to make sure she had free will, and he did give her free will, he just didn't let her nuke everything. He just inhibited that part, I guess, I don't know, for maybe when she eventually learns to control it, like he does with everyone else in the school. Like, I didn't understand it, at least with this movie. I felt like it was completely unwarranted. Maybe there's a better context in the comics as to like maybe something more power play-ish.
More likely than not, there is
Xavier
better
does.
context in the comics.
Yeah.
But when it comes, there's only so much you could do in a 2-hour movie.
It's just
You know?
they gave us scenes to actively like, they gave us scenes that establish how good Xavier was.
Yeah, but they always do that.
But too many as opposed to
Yeah.
how we're supposed to feel conflicted.
They
and then
always
we just
do
feel
that.
like everyone's yelling at him for no reason. So this is where we are. Even Beast. Beast makes no sense. Beast says, I'm leaving you, Xavier, because you know what? You're taking control of everything. You just want it for the glory. What? When is Xavier ever? All right, I mean, in the movie, granted, I
Right.
don't know, whatever. So he leaves, runs over to Magneto's place, and is like,
That sounds weird.
I know you know a way to find mutants. Show me. And it's like, didn't you just have Cerebro?
That sounds
like
weird.
with Xavier? What?
the fuck
Huh?
is Beast doing on with
So, and then he eventually nothing comes of that.
No.
So he just joins back and it was fucking stupid. So anyway, that was Dark Phoenix. I thought it was hilarious, and we'll watch it again as a comedy. And we're horrendously over time,
Yeah, we've been over time for a while.
so maybe we actually can. Cut it.
Raw and uncut.
Maybe we should cut it. I mean,
I have no shame. I have nothing to hide.
it's not that. It's that like
Obviously.
we got so off topic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Like the 18th time today.
I know, but I was trying.
All right.
know,
Okay.
you're-
Okay.
I
Can we
bless you.
stop recording?
Okay.
Wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test. Train them is my cause. I will travel across the land, searching far and wide.
Yo, you go to this rave often?
Are you Ian?
No, I'm Pablo.
Was there like a cult meeting I wasn't a part of or something?
Yes.
It's from a comedian, Pablo Francisco. He's doing really bad.
He's a comedian.
Fuck.
I'm not surprised. What happened?
He like
Is he in drugs now?
Yeah, no, he's been on drugs.
Oh,
So
more.
he's been eating?
I thought he was clean. I thought he got clean.
He got clean, then he got dirty again.
Oh shit.
And he like broke down on stage.
Oh,
He kept
shit.
repeating the same joke.
That was so weird when
That's
they
not
played
good.
his stand-up during Detective Pikachu, which is our topic for today. Hey, welcome to Detective Pikachu. I think everyone here has seen it, yes?
No.
Fuck off! What, really?
No. I've seen snippets of Ryan Reynolds' beautiful self.
Oh wait, it was you who hasn't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, then
Andy
never
hasn't seen
mind.
it.
I just was
No.
yelling.
Liz,
Yeah.
have you seen it?
Yeah, you were yelling at him because you wanted to yell at him.
I
Yeah.
have seen it.
I thought that was obvious. But yeah, everyone, okay. So
But I don't care about spoilers, but
there
I
is
don't know
one,
why
there's
Andy-
one
Andy-
spoiler in the entire movie. There's one spoiler.
Wow.
Pikachu killed the guy.
I mean, not even
I don't
that
know
far.
why.
There's like
The
one
only-
major spoiler out of the entire movie.
The only thing I do not know is who the antagonist, like the main antagonist for the film is.
It's incredibly really obvious the minute you meet them. It's
Oh.
Oh
like,
yeah, it.
they
Oh,
walk
okay.
into the room and it's like, "Hello, villain. Nice to meet you."
Which is how all of Pokemon goes.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. At least they kept that formula right.
Right. There was one little thing that's a little bit that I didn't expect, but when I saw it, I was more creeped out by it than in actually being enraptured.
I know exactly who
was
you're
just like,
talking about.
They can do that?
Are we
Oh my
talking
God,
about
please.
Ditto?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing they could do.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
That's horrifying.
In the movie,
That's
Ditto
true.
was able to transform into a human.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they can do
Oh,
that.
it's cool until you see it.
What are you
Like-
talking about? You
but-
didn't know they could do that? They did that in the anime.
No,
What?
it's
When?
Yeah. I remember like
They
Ditto.
did do that in the anime a couple times.
Yeah, like
into a human in the anime?
Ditto turned into Misty once.
no.
Or was it Ash?
What?
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
It's one of the
No,
first
no.
episodes.
Yeah.
But the problem was, is just that in this movie, this Ditto was able to know some martial arts moves and almost like destroyed the main character.
Yeah.
It was actually the strongest character.
What Ditto does.
That, I mean, that,
emulate the person.
is that technically a spoiler because it's a reveal for the character?
It is kind of a spoiler. And I would say that Ditto, that whole fight scene was probably one of the better things in the film. Terrifying wise, seeing Ditto turn into every single Pokemon was...
No,
oh my
absolutely.
god, that scene was crazy.
Like, there's a lot of cool visual elements in this movie. I like a lot of the world building it does, and it even feels like it's written by like a 4Kids staff or something with how you know,
Yes.
plastic everyone feels and stuff. Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds, and really, I don't want to hear
His gray.
Pikachu
He
ever.
doesn't try.
Well, because he says things that are Ryan Reynolds, and that's fine and funny until you hear Pikachu telling you to smell his fingers, and you're like, "That's disgusting. That's Pikachu." What? Like, Ryan, there are some jokes
It's a
that
freaking
fit with your
rodent.
character, and this is not one of them. You know what I mean?
So you're saying he's Pikapool, not Pikachu.
He's Pikachu.
He's Pikachu, pretty
It is
much.
Pikachu. That's
Yeah.
why everybody making memes about it.
And you know, it's not even that terrible, like, in terms of, oh no, Pikachu. Like, he's cool in the movie, it works. It's
It's
just,
adorable.
there's some darker tinges to the movie.
A few of the jokes
Of course,
were
'cause that's
definitely over
Ryan
the,
Reynolds.
like, it went over a lot of heads, and it was like, wow.
Like, the
Well,
Mr.
it's
Mime
fun,
scene,
yeah.
was that necessary? The little ending bit of that?
I like the Mr.
To
Mime.
burn him alive?
Yeah,
Oh, well.
that was a little rough.
Well,
He wasn't really burning alive, though.
but as far as Mr. Mime is
This ain't
concerned,
your daddy's Pokemon movie.
it got surprisingly dark in a few scenes, and I'm
you're
okay.
only to be fair, you're only surprised because you've been exposed to very few things, and most of them are like
I'm
really.
sorry, what?
Yeah, like when it comes to the Pokemon universe, it's actually really dark if you read the manga.
Yeah, I mean, okay, look. First off, I know some things about Pokemon. I did grow up in the '90s.
Everybody
I know,
grew up in the '90s here, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
But not,
There's nobody-
was everyone
To
into
quote
Pokemon?
Zack
I don't know.
Snyder, you're living in a fucking dream world.
Either way, I know that the Pokedex has dark
Release
entries
the
in
Snyder
it.
Cut.
I know that there's a whole darker like stuff in the background, but it was never like, "Hey Ash, run over to this house and convince Mr. Mime to get literally interrogate Mr. Mime to give you an item." Like that's
Yeah, no,
totally
but
different.
It happens actually in the manga a lot.
In
Like,
the
you
manga-
you even see
but
like
the manga-
of course
Manga
nobody.
has death for the Pokemon though. It's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah, but they
I mean,
fucking
then
eat
there's
each other.
Pokemon Origins,
Yeah.
though. Pokemon Origins had its really dark
Sure,
points.
but we're not. This isn't Detective Pikachu or Pokemon Origins Detective Pikachu. This is still the one that is released. You know, X and Y. You know, Diamond and Pearl. That's tonally different, which is fine. Look,
Yeah, no, they
as
did
an
it. They did it
adult-
on purpose.
Yes.
They did it on purpose.
Yes.
No, hold on a second.
It's-
In the video games, one of the main villains commits suicide.
Which-
Come on.
Which one?
Gen 6. Team Flair's villain commits suicide.
I didn't play that game, so I don't know about that.
Wait, Team Flare. That's
The
Ruby and
flare guy
Sapphire,
with the very
right?
big
No,
red hair.
that's Team Aqua, Team whatever. Never mind. Wait, right? No. Who's Team Flare part of?
Team Flair, Gen 6?
X
Which
and
is
Y.
which game? X and Y? Thank you. Okay, yeah, I did play Y, so he committed.
Why did you?
Exactly. Exactly. Anyway,
Oh, wow.
I do remember him doing that, but it was like one of those Disney suicides where it's like, I'm gonna blow myself up. Yeah, where it's like off-screen. It's an off-screen thing. In this thing,
They mellow it out.
torch you.
Yeah, for
Like-
real. Like they do it. When it comes to the anime, when it comes to the movies, when it comes to the video games, I guess because it has more marketability, it
Yes.
reaches more kids. They have to tone it down.
Right.
I don't know. I guess like the manga in other countries isn't as popular, maybe, as it is in Japan. Because
Isn't
in
it the
Japan
origin?
it's dark, bro. It's
Isn't it
dark.
the origin? Like Pokemon started out as a manga, or did it start
No,
out as a
it
game?
started
No,
out
it
as a
actually,
game.
yeah,
Oh,
it actually
well.
started out as a game.
So then
and
someone made it darker than even the game portrayed it with the story.
I think so because
the first game-
honestly, yeah.
Because
The first
I
game
think
was
one of the
what,
darkest
trading
parts-
card game or Red Blue?
Wait,
Red
what
Green,
was
I
it?
mean.
What?
What was the
Red
question?
and Green came out before the manga.
And before the trading card game?
The card game was
Way
first.
before the trading
Oh.
card game.
What?
So the first thing
The trading
ever
card
was
game
Red
actually
Green.
happened after
Red
the
Green,
anime.
Exactly.
You know, actually, I remember the trading card game coming after. So
Yeah,
I might
it
actually
happened.
buy
In
it.
the anime. It happened after
Yeah.
the anime because then it started like.
I remember
blowing
buying
up.
the game, then the cards.
Yeah, the trading
like-
cards was supposed to help boost the popularity
I watched
of
the
it.
anime
Which it
first.
did.
Yeah, everyone, because it was on WV or
Yeah.
some shit. Everyone saw that.
WB
Everybody.
Kids, bro.
But my point is like this movie was obviously scaled for the older generation to have more adult jokes, and that's
Yeah.
fine with me. That was a fun tone, and I'm actually kind of happy that they didn't do a generic like, follow the Pokemon trainer as he collects the badges. I'm like, that works for the game. For the movie, I don't know how well that.
You
would be
wanted like a
paced.
more realistic feeling to it. Or
If
something?
it can be done well, it can be done well. It would have to be like a fucking trilogy or some shit, because it's a
It would be
long
more
thing.
than a trilogy if we wanted to go through all the gyms and get into the leagues and all that. Watch the trainers Pokemon evolve as he goes, get attached to these characters.
That's like a Netflix series.
That could be a good Netflix HBO
Like-
series, but
That's remaking the anime all over again.
Right, and that's kind of, I guess, why
but the
they didn't
anime
even
is
wanna
not
do
going to
it.
get remade because they keep rebooting or continuing.
Also,
Yeah, they
Ash
just
is
keep
a
make-
terrible trainer.
Well, Ash is an
Ash
immortal.
is 10 years
so-
old.
Yeah, he's an immortal.
Terrible trainer, but
He's
he cares
he's
about
five
his
He's a
ever
great
10.
trainer. He befriends most of the Pokemon.
He
Yeah.
saved
That's not
a
how you
lot
catch a
of.
Pokemon.
He saved
Yeah,
the
but that-
world
that-
like
For
at
the
least 4
definition
times.
of being a trainer, though.
No, but because he befriends the Pokemon, and they become allies for him to cash in later on in life.
He's got a Pidgeot
right.
out there. He's
gets
got a
those best friends.
Lugia. It's
He makes
ridiculous.
best friends, so that way
Except
when
Charizard.
he gives them away, he doesn't feel anything.
Charizard's on his
Except Charizard. Charizard's still gonna burn his ass.
I'm gonna befriend you. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye. That's
And
Ash.
when he was Charmeleon, he also hated him. He was Charmeleon.
But he got
Charmander-
Charizard's trust already.
Yeah, at the
It
very
took how
end,
long
right?
for that to
It
happen?
took
at the
long.
end
Exactly.
when he let
It took
him go
long
off
with
to
him.
have a girlfriend.
It's like, yeah, you finally like me. Oh, you want to leave? Oh, okay, bye.
Well, no, he had to make the decision to let him stay at the Charrific
But
Valley.
when does Ash ever not let them go, though?
But the thing is, Charizard is back in his team right now.
Oh, he came back?
Yes, like
Oh,
for
that's
the past
cool.
couple seasons.
I mean, it'd be cool if they all came back.
I'm not-
You know,
They
that
brought
would be a
back
mega
old
arc.
they brought back
Oh,
old
man.
Pokemon
Like-
that Ash is let go of. The
Butterfree
only
is
thing is
still
that
not back.
Charizard, I think, is the only one that's actually
was
like
one of
come
the
back
first.
to
And he's-
play.
He
Yeah,
was the
because you
first
see
one.
Bulbasaur again.
Yeah, because right after Pikachu, he caught a Caterpie, and that
Yeah.
he hugged
Yep.
a Caterpie, and it evolved
He
in front of
hugged
him.
the
It's in Metapod.
Oh, what did I say?
The Metapod.
He evolved the Caterpie.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then we
I
had
thought you
the
said
episode
Butterfree.
Bye Bye Butterfree.
I might have. I have no idea. Bye bye Butterfree. Right. So like, that would be a power play. Like
This
he
has
gives him
nothing to
away.
do with Detective Pikachu.
It's Pokemon though.
All right.
We're getting there.
Detective Pikachu, the two
we're talking
mains
about
were really like they just felt bland.
They felt like standard ass Disney movie protagonists, which isn't inherently bad. They're
It's just
not
that we've seen it
good.
before.
It's
Yeah.
just that they're plain. They
I
don't
mean,
do
we've seen it
anything.
To be
before.
fair, the main protagonists in all the games also do not have personalities. You put your own personality in those characters.
Right, but if I use that excuse for Silent Hill 4, then I could say Henry was a good written character.
Oh, that's why
and he's
Kimbrough
not.
said that. Now I get it what he meant.
What do you mean?
That's why I feel like there's only so much you can do. Like when it comes to when it comes to transferring a video game or anything like that, where the main character doesn't have any personality and you put it in,
Yeah.
To transfer that into a movie, it's a lot harder because then you
Also-
have a certain expectation, and then when it doesn't meet your expectation, everybody gonna bitch.
Also, with Henry's example, they tried to make him have a personality. It was just a shit personality.
It was scared.
It was
know.
plain. It was a plain ass personality. It was a plain Jane personality.
I mean, literally, I'm trying to think of any like active decision that character makes in the plot. Like literally anything.
He
he
chooses
actually
He's not a.
Pikachu
does.
He's not
take
a.
over.
He's not
Oh,
a. He's not a
talking
proactive
about
person.
both.
That's what it is.
Okay.
We're talking about the protagonists
On
of
what
Detective
protagonist?
Pikachu and Silent Hill 4 because they are comparable.
Damn.
Do you understand? They're both
Lavender
plain.
Town is something.
Please understand.
Lavender Town is like a graveyard. It's the only
is.
place with
It's
a
a
graveyard.
Essentially a
graveyard
graveyard.
building. That's so weird.
It's the only place that has one.
Yeah.
Well, no, there's different like graveyard spots in every region. The third generation Ruby and Sapphire, it's a whole island.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
even the new
In
game.
Ruby and Sapphire?
Yes, it's a little island it's a little mini island with a
Yeah.
mountain.
There's
that
even
was
a
actually the
fucking
one-
cemetery in the last games.
No, right. But my point is there's one per region.
Right.
Yeah.
Aloha
I mean,
had a cemetery.
People
in
die.
Sun and Moon.
Pokemon die.
But
Where
do
they need a
where do the
resting
people
spot.
die? Where do they put them?
In
They
the
throw them in the
same-
ocean. I don't know.
They don't do them a
Throw 'em
burial.
in
They
the
just toss
ocean.
them in the ocean.
Who?
The dead bodies of people. And that's why they put the dead
Fuck
bodies.
them. They're not as important as Pokemon.
They don't have powers.
No, they're not.
They're not friendship worthy.
No.
They don't evolve.
So are ghost Pokemon like? Sorry, no way. Like, do they start out as a ghost, or were they someone who died? Because there's some Pokedex
Some of them
entries.
start off as Pokemon. Some
Yeah.
of them start off as something else.
Yeah.
And
some
then
of
they
them do.
become.
And then like
Pokemon.
Voltorb apparently is Haunter, or Ghastly. That like, and it's a theory that.
Yeah. Most Pokemon need to be
Possessing.
manifested. Especially of the newer generation, they need to be manifested. Some of them are born, like
Oh, like
Pikachu
that one
and
fucking crazy ass
Bulbasaur.
Pokemon that like you have to kill like I don't know how many people.
Spiritomb, the most evil Pokemon of all time. You
that
have to kill
Pokemon.
100 people in order to manifest one Spiritomb.
No, Spiritomb.
Spiritomb.
He's a little.
Oh.
I have him. He's actually
He's
on my
evil.
shirt in the game.
Isn't that the same Pokemon that like that's the only Pokemon where you
Oh.
can tell like that it's inherently trying to actually hurt people?
Yes, because
It's
in,
evil.
in
Let's
the
tie
Pokemon
this.
mythology,
Let's
it-
tie this back. I'm sorry. 'Cause you brought up a really good point about this because I remember in Detective Pikachu when you go into the main bad guy's office, he has these giant fuck off statues of Arceus, Palkia, and Dialga,
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
and I'm like. Wouldn't that be kind of weird? It's like, yeah, that's my portrait of God over there. Like, your deity is proven to exist.
And no Giratina.
Maybe at
Well,
this
I mean, what is he, a fucking Satan worshiper? Calm down now.
it could be that at that point what it could be is that
There's a whole cult for Giratina. Like, they're doing ritual sacrifices on
Yes, I'm
Pikachus
sure they.
and shit.
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Probably.
the dream. That's the dream world Pokemon. So
But no, there's no human cult that's like Giratina.
You don't know.
That might
we
be
don't know
a
that.
future
that's the great thing about the
protagonist,
Pokemon universe. It's similar to
We
the
gotta
Star
wait.
Wars universe that you can write many stories for the universe,
Okay.
and for the most part, it'll kind of fit.
until the creators do something about it.
It's funny that you guys are talking about, like, oh my god, we're out of Detective Pikachu again. Like, no, because I'm just saying, like, they do kind of the same framework per game. And granted, there have been some exceptions. Sun and Moon, and then
Yeah.
Black and White did something different with that. But it's like, they vary it up. It's still kind of like a similar premise, and I would really love it if, like, there were more of the side games, like,
Pokemon Dungeon, Galaxy, and all that. Whatnot.
right, like Mystery Dungeon, and maybe something like Detective Pikachu, where you can use the license in the many ways that you're talking about, and not be constrained to just the, and you know what, and this sucks because I love RPGs, but not be constrained by the RPG format.
Or at least that particular RPG format. So it's been the same thing
Yeah.
over and over and over again. I feel you. I feel like they tried every once in a while. It didn't pan out in previous games or in previous types. I don't know why.
Well,
But
you
I
didn't
feel like it's
Pokken-
gonna change.
You didn't like Pokken Tournament?
I didn't play it.
What are you talking about?
I
What
never
about
played it.
Pokemon
I never
Troze?
played it.
Come on.
No.
What about Pokemon Snap?
What game? What is that? What
¿Qué
game
es
is
eso?
that?
¿Qué es esa mierda?
That game doesn't exist.
I miss Pokemon.
Nintendo said
Pokemon
so.
Go.
I
That's
love
what
Pokemon
it is.
Snap.
I need
Snap's great.
to start a petition to remake Pokemon Snap. That was still one of the best-selling games in all of the Nintendo 64.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It's like they have like the perfect device to do it. but they just
I
don't
feel
want
like
to,
they're gonna
so.
change shit up because since they're doing Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu, the format is a little different. So they're changing things and they're realizing like, yeah, the old formula is always gonna give us money, but eventually, and those people are gonna get tired, just like the older generation gonna get tired.
Of
So we
course.
might as well give them something, something different. That's why they made Detective Pikachu. That's why they did Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Pikachu.
To sort of recapture.
To change things up, to get new audiences into it, because I know that Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, they're a little easier in certain aspects to play.
It's like an introductory course.
Yeah.
But one other thing I just thought of, by the way, from Detective Pikachu. Did it bother you guys that like none of the Pokemon actually said their name?
Yeah, I did, especially Bulbasaur.
I mean,
There was a whole
Because that's
scene
not
with
actually
Bulbasaur.
that's actually only in the anime.
Yeah, and I didn't like
Well,
that.
in the,
Yeah,
the game they
that
have
is
like
only-
No,
Crush
Pikachu said his
cries.
name.
Pikachu's the only Pokemon that
Well,
ever
later
said his
on
name.
they
Yeah.
started. Guys,
Not
but
even
you
Raichu
guys
says
are
its
acting
name.
like certain evolutions. Funnily enough, that I use that word. Evolutions in the franchise. Like you're saying, oh yeah, that's already been in the game. It's like yeah, but they didn't do it till like Pokemon X
No.
and Y way later on
no,
and shit.
they
so,
only put it in the game because people were such huge fans of the anime.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
people started
No,
complaining.
that's what I'm saying. Like that's one thing, but in terms of like, oh god, how do I think of a good example of what I'm trying to say here?
I mean, I don't know. I've never heard a dog say dog.
But in the Pokemon universe, well, at least because with everything else being so close to the 4Kids kind of like feel and aesthetic, to the characters, to the plot lines, to the twist with freaking Mewtwo literally talking like that, like it felt like the 4Kids stuff. So they could have done that with the Pokemon, but instead used generic blah, blah, blah,
I don't know.
noises.
I'm
and
glad
it's
they
I
like,
feel it
what
took
the
away a
fuck?
lot from
It took
as
away a lot.
character-wise.
Wow, you guys are.
I see your
Bulbasaur has
point.
a very unique, and imagine Squirtle without his voice.
I
It's
see,
like-
no, I see your point. I see where you're coming from, but I feel like it's just a lack of exposure to what other people are used to seeing, because
But it wasn't even like the classic cries. Even like they didn't even have the.
the
classic
point is that
bit
they had
cartoons.
cries, and it wasn't like them repeating their names consistently. That's the point. It doesn't necessarily have to be like the cries are the same as the original games, but at the end of the day, they went back and they're like, nah, we're just gonna keep them
But it
like crying like that.
a lot of the individuality of each
I don't
Pokemon
feel so.
I don't
because
feel so
it
that way
will
either.
watch the movie. No, I agree with you guys with the Pokemon cries. They're unique in the game, absolutely.
Right.
But in the movie, everyone was kind of voice acted by
Ah,
the
well,
same
yeah.
thing. It was all little like cutesy noises. It wasn't anything unique to the Pokemon except for like what Charizard
Machamp.
growling and
maybe
Machamp.
Gyarados.
maybe the
And
maybe
things that are specific to
Yeah.
like them being huge.
right.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's it.
the delivery could have been different, but I don't feel like them changing the voice or changing the way that the animals communicate takes away from the character themselves. Because at the end of the day,
I
they
agree.
still have to be very individualistic, and they're very intelligent creatures. They're able to communicate without language for a huge part of the franchise, So if they're intelligent enough to get their point across without having to continuously say their name, like.
Yeah, but here's the thing as well. It's
Right.
like it was also a thing in the anime. Granted, I don't know about the comic or the mangas, but Pokemon could communicate with each other. There was a
Yeah.
language, and even in this movie, Pikachu
Yes.
communicates with them, but they're
Psyduck.
not actually speaking a language. They're just making guttural noises.
That that's the problem.
And it is guttural noise.
I
that's
mean,
the dumbest
you
thing.
you could
No,
take
no,
that
because-
take that into real life and
No, no,
say a dog isn't
I
really
get it.
saying anything because it's barking.
I get it, but there's certain like speech patterns and stuff, even if it's a language I don't recognize. You know what I mean? Versus
I feel you,
guttural
yeah.
like noises
Maybe-
where it's like an effect.
I'm trying to
or
remember.
Again, it could be the
Psyduck has
delivery.
his original vocals.
Psyduck does, yes.
Psyduck
Yes,
still
Psyduck
talks
does.
like Psyduck.
Again, it could be
But
the
even when
yeah.
Psyduck talks, he's like Psyduck,
Yes.
and he's having
Exactly.
speech patterns.
He
Bulbasaur
could.
did.
It could be the
Bulbasaur did.
delivery. It could just simply
Yeah.
be the delivery. The voice actors and
I'm
kind of
really
need to,
curious if when you see it, let me know because
Yeah.
it's really different. At least it took me by surprise. It was
Yeah.
like,
I
holy
got you.
shit, we have a huge Bulbasaur scene, and he's not sounding like I guess I imagined him. It's just more like of any of the other small Pokemon who have talked recently.
Okay.
You know? And it was-
Apom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Apom had a lot of play in this movie.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Randomly, like Apom.
I love Apom.
Okay, I mean he's not a bad Pokemon.
Oh, that little
monkey
Pokemon.
guy.
The little purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, because in the beginning of the game, you're basically trying to chase after an Apom
Beginning of the game.
for Detective Pikachu.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was curious.
That's why
about
they kept Apom as such a like
Prominent character in
in
the-
the movie to kind of like throw back to the game, like, hey, remember this little guy? Yeah, you bet.
But again, like one of the strongest points of this movie was the world building. Like we can, the funny
looked
thing,
beautiful,
it's just
honestly.
like Pokemon, like the actual series, that
Yeah.
we're able to look past some of the more shortcomings of the series just because of how deep the world is.
It looks beautiful.
And you could see
The
I
that.
wanna
world
go
we
there.
were given here was
Shit.
interesting because that city is like no Pokemon battles. Remember that?
Yeah, no train, not
they have
no,
the
not no
underground?
trainers.
They have
no.
illegal underground.
That was
Yeah, all of-
illegal?
That was
all of
illegal.
those
I
are
didn't know that was
unsanctioned.
illegal. I thought
Oh,
that was just their
wow.
edgy Pokemon battles. That's how they do it.
Illegal.
Also, it's illegal. They can't.
In this city,
Yeah.
it's the only one in the world.
That's crazy.
Rhyme
I didn't
City.
even know that.
Yeah, there's no gyms. There's no nothing in of that
There's no
kind of sort.
gyms?
No gyms. Pokemon and human.
Claro,
It's an
live
interesting
in
world.
It's so
I,
strange.
I actually like that a lot.
It's an
That's
interesting.
interesting. That
concept.
is interesting. I'm down.
The Loudreds are speakers and shit. Like it's
That was
unique.
cool.
That's a cool concept. I'd
beautiful.
like to see, you know.
Yeah.
And
I'm down.
the movie did that for me, so I was fine with it. It's just that ending is just kind of like, well, who did you
Liz brought up
expect?
a good point about what the next one should be about, like maybe tackling one of the crime bosses
Yes.
and stuff. If you want to,
Yes, since Giovanni's son is the leader of one of the underground gangs in the Pokemon. I want to say it's the Sinnoh universe that he's doing this, and there's a whole other like police force that's dedicated to bringing him down. That would be so great to
Wait,
have
so
as
there's
a
Team Rocket, there's another gang, and then the police trying to chase out that other gang.
yes.
Okay, all right. I just want to understand. So do they
'Cause
fight Team Rocket
is more
and the
or
new
less
team?
disbanded after.
I think so.
Yeah, after
More or
the end
less.
of Giovanni, like no one wanted to work under Giovanni anymore, so Team Rocket's
Really?
disbanded.
Oh, okay. And also, funny enough, we bring this Team Rocket up. In the movie, when they were like looking into the, also yeah, spoilers. I guess we're just doing this. They were looking into like the drug, the thing in the capsule, and it had an R on it. I was like, fuck yeah, Team Rocket. Nope. It's some other dude whose last name just starts
that's
with
right.
an R.
It bothered me so much.
I was like,
Aw,
what?
man.
Out of all the letters,
and I was surprised.
Out of all the letters.
one of the, only the R is literally a logo.
Was
for
the
your
R
fucking-
red, too?
It was a dark, bold
What
red
a
R.
bitch. Those guys are
It's
assholes.
such a tease. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they cocked in you.
Yeah. And there was the other thing that's like, there were parts of this movie where I was having fun, and then there were parts where like, oh, that's in there because of the internet. You know, and that particularly the villain's master plan. I want to be my Poke-Sona.
Yeah. that was-
Yeah, that.
We got a little cringy towards the end, but here
It
we
had
are.
a little bit of cringe for sure.
But other than that, it was fun. I like how they kind of did Mew and Mewtwo again, the first Pokemon movie. It just
Yeah,
kinda popped
kind
Well,
of
did you
sort
hear
of.
that this is
You mean
the
the
same
best Pokemon
Mewtwo from the
movie?
first movie?
It sounds like him. I
It's
would
not
be
the same
surprised.
voice actor though.
Oh, okay.
I
It
wish.
sounded
the
like
Pharaoh.
him.
No.
Wait, it was Yami Yugi?
No, I'm sorry. Same voice actor for the Pharaoh is also the same voice actor for the Mewtwo from the first movie. I just don't remember his name.
The
right now.
Pharaoh? Are you saying
From Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yes, from
Yes.
Yugi. Yes.
Like Kaiba? That guy?
Yes. Yes.
He's Mewtwo?
The Pharaoh though.
The
yes.
original, yes.
Yeah.
Why you guys say Yami Yugi?
Yami Yugi, that's
Yeah,
The
that's
Pharaoh
the Pharaoh.
doesn't
the
have his
Pharaoh.
name revealed, does he?
Yes, he does.
Yeah,
His name
he's
is
Yami
Yami
Yugi.
Yugi.
Yami?
Yeah.
No, he has an actual name. I just can't remember.
Oh, but he okay no, because when it's Yugi taking over, when he takes over Yugi's
Yeah.
form, he's
It's Yami Yugi.
Yes, but he's called the Pharaoh.
I've
outside.
been calling him the Pharaoh because I didn't.
Right.
even-
No, I just
yeah,
I know that's like an edge name for him, so I was like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll call him the Pharaoh.
Fine.
But I guess no, as the series progressed, he became like a legitimate character,
Yeah.
not just like a
He
force.
became my
so-
favorite character on that whole thing.
And by the way, I'd be willing. Do you duel?
Not anymore. No, I'm not getting into that.
No one duels with me.
Sorry.
How
no
did
one
we
will
get
duel with me
into?
anymore.
Um,
The Pharaoh.
Michael, why did you have to bring Yu-Gi-Oh?
I choose
this?
Charmander
I
in
shouldn't.
attack mode.
We'll go back to Detective Pikachu. Yes.
Yes.
So that's the only like one of my biggest things. If it's gonna be the same guy, they should have at least gotten the voice actor back. It would have brought in like a couple
It's
more
pretty close.
gasps.
It's pretty
It was a
close.
close, but that voice is also iconic. But I guess
Yeah.
it's a nostalgic thing.
It's a real like
nostalgic
weird
glasses.
genderless voice. It sounds almost male, but then they added like a female tinge to it, unless I'm remembering this wrong.
For,
Oh yeah, it did have a female twinge
In
at
this
some
new
point.
one, they added like an
Yeah.
extra person
the-
talking for Mewtwo.
yeah.
for the Detective Pikachu movie?
For Detective Pikachu.
I mean, that would make sense. That's a completely scientifically generated Pokemon.
well, of course, no, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense lore-wise. I'm just saying like,
I like Mew.
It's cool.
sounds.
It's different now.
And
Like,
now
it's
we
more
got
representative
Mew.
of Mewtwo not having a gender. Because does Mewtwo in the games have a gender?
No.
No.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Legendaries don't have genders, I think.
For the most part, no. There are some
There's some.
legendary Pokemon that you can see that they have a gender, like Latios and Latias.
You can see Latias's giant dong from like a mile away. It's crazy.
But
Oh man.
Oh man, Latias though. I have a shiny Latias, by the way. Pokemon Go.
You have a shiny.
Latinos
I'm
and
sorry.
Latinas.
I have a shiny Latinas. But yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Are we done with it?
I don't know. Was there any? I'm trying to think if I missed anything.
No, I think we
mean,
covered
we
everything.
covered most.
Mr.
Way
Mime
better
being
than
buried
Godzilla.
alive.
We stuck to
Or
the
not
script.
buried, burned alive. Yeah, yeah.
That's fine because it needs to be you and me talking about that one.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, extra spoil. Oh no, you know what? No, that'll be the last. We can't. The last twist.
No, don't.
no.
That's the biggest one.
No.
It's like the
I'm
most
fine with not
liptic
spoiling
one.
that.
But it's
though.
also who cares?
It's also super obvious because when I'm watching this, I'm like, who's it gonna be? Wait, well then if it's that makes sense. Like, I feel like an idiot for wondering for a second, like who could it have been?
Yeah.
Who's that Pokemon? It's is it really even worth it? Like,
He really wants to tell me.
I
Look,
really
like
want
he's
to.
bubbling with excitement.
'Cause it-
All right,
Like,
you know what?
he's
Fine.
so-
Okay.
So Annie, just letting
no,
you
Eddie,
know.
who is it?
Okay, who do you?
Who do you think Detective Pikachu? Well, this is already a spoiler.
Well,
the
hold
fact
on.
that it is someone.
Who do you think this kid's father is? Because that's the whole point of this kid's
Oh yeah,
arc.
they're trying to find his daddy. And
Yes.
everything, right?
Yeah, who do you
Yes.
think the dad is?
The bad guy.
No.
Wow,
Oh.
that's a good
Good-
guess. That would
But
actually be
guess
more.
again.
That's a
That's
You
a
have-
better plot line than
That
what
was
the
Oh
good.
shit, for real? It was not the bad guy.
It's not the bad guy. Guess again.
What? Okay, so his daddy?
Yes.
Is it the Pokemon?
You're getting warmer.
It's all of them. Every Pokemon. He's like Ermac. He's an all. I'm
God,
kidding.
that is horrifying.
I'm just kidding. That's what the guy
I was
kind
about
of
to
wanted
say,
to do
like-
at the end.
I
Funnily
know.
enough.
It's not Pikachu.
Now I feel like because she doesn't
You're
know,
getting
I
extremely
feel like
warm.
we shouldn't say anything then because she's like legitimately trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I am trying to
All right,
legitimately
no,
figure it out.
then never mind.
No,
Look at
now,
his face.
no, now I really want her to
I
find
just
out.
love your excitement. You're just
Okay,
like,
all right. Because think about it, all right? The entire movie, we're trying to find his dad, and it's built up like his dad is some random dude on the
Daddy,
outside.
daddy.
He did something, and where did he go? He's missing. And it's just horrendously obvious.
And
'cause-
then all of a sudden,
This
this
Pikachu.
Pikachu shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah, and he happens to know where he lives. He happens to know his dad. He drinks coffee just like his dad
So you're
did.
telling me that the Pikachu is his daddy?
Now, who is his dad?
Ryan Reynolds.
Right? Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds.
Dude, I'm sitting there like an idiot, like, oh my god, who can it be? And then like,
We just see Ryan Reynolds
well,
walking.
I don't know what I was expecting. The Pikachu's voiced by Ryan Reynolds. I mean, why the fuck wouldn't it be Ryan Reynolds? I mean,
And it would be weird as hell if it was a different voice.
wouldn't that be funny? It was just Jim Carrey, and you're just like,
Voices Ryan Reynolds through him.
People bitch about that shit all the time.
But anyway, it's kind of like the reason why I feel comfortable ruining the twist is because A, it really didn't make a difference on the plot, like at all. What did he do at the end? Nothing.
Drink coffee and swear.
Yeah, I was Ryan
never
Reynolds.
swears.
Oh, you mean be himself? Okay.
Yeah,
wants to
I'm Ryan
swear.
Reynolds, by the way. Cool, Dad.
You know, I don't
The
even think
end.
Ryan Reynolds tries very much in his freaking.
That's not
He
fair to
just-
say.
No, not that he. Okay, look. No,
Because
no, no,
he
no,
does
no.
produce the damn
Okay,
things.
look. I don't mean like that. I mean
Okay.
that he doesn't try very much to be anything other than himself when he's doing the characters that he's doing.
If it ain't
That's
broke,
it.
if it ain't broke, do you think The Rock has even played a
No.
character once?
I just love it.
Do you think Will Smith has ever played a character
it.
once?
Actually,
Except in
maybe.
After Earth is a terrible one. Forgot. Yes.
Maybe. But you know what? You never know.
All right, so we're 30 minutes. So
I was just waiting for you to finish.
I think we're good.
aren't you always?
That's what she said.
And will be.
Hey guys, so turns out we're ending the show. Everyone say hi, bye.
Hi, bye.
Michael, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry this was way not how we usually organize things. We got into a couple of tangents, but hey, you got to experience what it's like to be on the show.
A couple.
It is literally that. We never stick to the topic, so
I've been on a few of these. I know how it goes.
you know. So
He knows. He knows.
We can learn and be more focused. We're always evolving. But we did talk about Godzilla and Phoenix and Pokemans. All of them, and the Magnetos. All right, guys, we love you. We'll see you later.
Bye.